Hey guys, so we're here with a special guest today, CMPappa, who's currently ranked 25 on Dueling Book. Obviously, that's in the flux in the beginning of the format, but you are playing Dragon Link Bystial, which I think is really, really cool. So maybe I'll just get you to introduce yourself and maybe why you're playing the deck for this format.
Hello to everyone. I'm CMPappa, and yeah, I'm currently playing Dragon Link with some rockets in it, which might be a strange take because last format in high rated, some people choose to drop the rocket engine in favor of some other entrap. But I think that here we are in also the beginning of the format, so I choose to have a more control approach with rockets because Savage um, gave me the negation, and I think against Rogue it's pretty good. So yeah, I'm playing Dragon Link because I was playing it since the beginning, since LP and the Buster Lock with Linkross and so on. So I think I mastered the deck quite well, and yeah, that's it for me.
Awesome. Yeah, and I know you have a lot of competitive accomplishments with Dragon Link. So I guess I'll just go over the list and you can sort of explain your choices and reasoning. So we have the two Tracer, the one Recharger, two Synchron, the one Router, the triple Quick Launch, and the Boot Sector for your rocket stuff. Would you say that's pretty standard or anything about the ratios you want to mention?
Um, yes, let's say the second synchron isn't that popular because now Chaos Ruler is banned, and the strength of the Rocket Synchron was to reborn Chaos Ruler and make the hot thread. But I think that's a little bit incorrect take because apart Seifert, Rocket Synchron is the most powerful normal summon because in self it abilities are level higher to tribute with the Lubellion. So I think that's a correct normal summon. Honestly, you can go out playing only one, or maybe you can go play the second level 4, which can be the second recharger or maybe the what's called the silver rocket. But I think if you manage your resources well, you go out with just one. So that's it. I just prefer the second rocket synchron for this reason.
No, that sounds perfect. I guess moving on to the list, we have the White Dragon, the Black Dragon, the three Safer, the three Chaos Space, the Levianeer, and then the Dragon Ravine. I guess that's pretty standard. I know the Safer ratios sometimes kind of differ between players, but I guess, yeah, not sure if you have anything to say with
Yeah,
that.
that's pretty cool standard for me. Some people choose to run the Chaos Emperor, the Pendulum, the prize card. It's not a bad card, I mean, but I prefer to cut because the most hated thing is when you draw a lot of higher level, so your end is a little bit bricky. So I choose to drop the high level for this reason. But the Emperor is not a bad card.
Mm, right. No, it makes sense. And then I guess now the more bestial part of the deck, we have the three Rebellion, three Magnemite, two Duelist Room, and two Serenir, as well as the Regain and Beast. So I guess, Bestial's very important for tiers, I guess just with this deck in particular, it also has a lot more synergy. So how do you feel about your Bestial ratios?
Yeah, I think the Bestial are one of the most broken support that Dragon can possibly have. And of course, I choose to max out the best important, the most important one. So, of course, the Lubellion and the Magnamut are three of. And Saronir is a two of instead of three Druids and one Saronir because in this deck Saronir has a lot of combos because the most, let's say, broken opening is with Borderland, Savage, and Regained, and the Beast face up, and the Saronirs help with this. So I think two Saronir is correct.
Right? No, that sounds about right. And then I guess we have the Noctovision, and then the three Veilers and Droplets. That's pretty interesting. I guess your reasoning for these as your hand traps, aside from, let's say, like Imperm, for example.
Yeah, so the droplet are pretty self-explanatory. We don't run a lot of entrap apart the beasted, which can be dead if you don't face up a light and dark deck. So I choose to go with the droplet, and for the same reason, Veiler, because it's quite generic, and it's Veiler and not the Imperm, because it can be not Kimiki with the Bestial. So you have to drop first the Imperm and then the Bestial. And for this reason, I choose to play Veiler. And also, it's a light which can be discarded for Chaos Space to start the combo.
No, no, that definitely sounds reasonable. So I guess that's 40 for the main, and moving on to or anything else you wanted to mention in the main deck before we move on to the extra deck?
Yeah, maybe with if I go higher in the ranking, maybe I would drop the Nocto and maybe one Veiler for I guess another Entrap, maybe the Bells or some other to counter tier. But for now, is the list for at the moment is fine.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And then for the extra, maybe we'll cover the link first. We have Striker Dragon, Pisty, Romulus, Heradic Seal, Quad Boral, Delindrus, Triple Burst, Borland, Dark, Masquerena, Unicorn, and Access Code. I guess that's pretty standard. I know, like I don't know how often most players play just one seal. I know it used to be like a two card kind of thing, but maybe now regular. No, the norm is just one.
Yeah, it's the same reasoning as the second level 4. If you manage your card well, you don't ever need the second level 4, and for this reason, you don't ever need the second seal, because you run one, but it can be shuffled by the cow space, it can be shuffled by the regained. So let's say you never runs out of any particular extra deck card, because it can be shuffled always back.
Right, right. No, that makes sense. And then I guess the synchros we have Borlot Savage, of course, Boss Monster, the Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. I'm guessing. Actually, that's interesting. This is more of a kind of like a time win card as well, but
Yeah,
obviously on Dueling
so
Book it's not as relevant. But yeah.
yeah, so the reason is I'm a competitive player, so my list on DB has to be the same as I use on in real, because if I use, let's say, another card, and that card came up for me in real life, that card can be used, because in that sport I play Scarlight, so I have to use exactly the card I use in real life for this reason.
Actually, that reminds me, and that's really cool that you play it that way. By the way, it's definitely honorable.
Yeah, but
Um,
let's say the Scarlight, it's not only for the time aspect, because sometimes closing game with Scarlight, it's easy, and more easy with Access Code, because a lot of time you don't really have much attribute for banish, because you can banish only winds and dark. So making a Scarlight on top of that and destroy the other card and go for the OTK, it's really easy.
right, right. And I guess I think we kind of touched on it, but reason for not playing Hot Red Dragon Archfiend instead as well,
Yeah, as
or
I said, with ruler band, there is no need for the hot thread, because the only time it comes up if they destroy your savage, and then in the other turn you reborn with rocket synchron. But the most important target to reborn with rocket synchron in, let's say, grind game is Druis, because it can be linked off and use his effect again. So I think that the hot threat is really unnecessary.
No, that's great. Thank you. And then the last card is the Erratic Dragon, King of a Tomb. So once per turn, you can detach one material from the card and special summon one dragon monster. So what's this primarily used for people not familiar?
So basically, all the bestials are level 6. And yeah, and there are dragons, so they can make Atom. And the Atom is basically LP, but Atom is not that great. In fact, that's my only, let's say, flex spot on the extra, which I'm still debating, because maybe sometimes I want to be that Wallow, the other exceed that detach and steal one card from the opponent's graveyard.
Okay. No, that's great. Thank you. And then I guess lastly, anything else in the extra before we move on to the side?
No, I think the extra deck, apart the second seal and the Scarlet, is basically it. Some people run the Baron de Fleur because Bestials and the Tracer make Baron. But I think a lot of time, when you have those two monsters on the field, you would rather go for Romulus or some other link that helps you with the combo. So I thought that Baron was that necessary for this.
No, that makes really good sense. So and then I guess lastly to the side, this is kind of cool to see Yammerfar's Sloth. Basically,
Yeah,
obviously, it's something that
that
comes out of
was
seal.
the spice. So yeah, the slot was the spice because post side, and maybe ending with Borderland Savage is too risky, because it's the beginning of the format. Some tier play the Super Poly. So playing Sloth gave you a nice target for Seal, and also it's a level 6, so is one tribute, because you could play, let's say, Goliath, but Goliath, if you draw, it's two tribute. Then if you draw the slot, you can tribute someone, which sometimes came up. So for this reason is slot and not Goliath.
No, yeah, no. I used to play this in Pendulums like 3 years ago. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then we have, I guess, a third Druidism. I guess, especially in tiers, you put another one in as well as the Skullmeisters.
Yeah, for only for tiers, there are the third Druisworm, because of course going second is much stronger than the other bestial, and then the Schoolmeister, because Schoolmeister stops the tier effect if they're not chain blocked, but also they stop the fairy which interrupt your grave, because to me tier against my deck, they want mill, because I have so much good card to mill. So the only thing that is broken is to interrupt my graveyard. So Schoolmeister is there for this particular reason.
Awesome. And then we have the three Dark Ruler, pretty self-explanatory. The three Rivalry, I think it's also pretty common in Dragon Link and a lot of other decks as well. Again, too.
So for
Yeah.
the Dark Ruler is because I don't have that much card against the Flanders matchup, so I have to add another three of that can be swapped with the old bestials that are basically useless. So I choose to play Dark Ruler also. if TR doesn't open broken with crime, it can be good. And also against Sprite, Dark Ruler isn't a bad card overall.
Right. And then you also have the branded beast, which I guess, have you thought about main decking it, or something you do prefer? Oh, actually, I guess you do already
So
have one in the main, so it's more of a
yeah,
second
yeah.
one.
So the second branded beast is experimental, because some people think that if they pop the one branded beast, but let's say I side only against control matchup. So the last four cards are only against control. And against control, if they pop the only branded beast, they feel safe. But you have the second, and branded beast can put the other branded beast in the graveyard with his second effect. And they are not hard once per turn. They once per turn per copy. So if you have to, you can pop two cards.
Hmm. Right. Okay, well, I guess that's it for the deck profile. Thank you so much again for coming onto the channel and doing this. Any shoutouts you want to mention before we end the call?
Yeah, I have some shoutouts to my friend, my group testing. Shoutouts to Mattia, shoutouts to the TCG, shoutout to the Zio Whelo, and shout out to Rasid. They are my group partners, and yeah, I think that's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and take care, everyone.